Well, hey, y'all. I know it's been a while since I talked about my other truck, but this is the truck I'm getting this video done. I'm trying to get back to it, but this is my 94 Chevy K2500, technically 3500, but here's the outside walk around. And it's a little dirty right now. I need to give it a bath, but the pollen is horrible. I had this truck since it was brand new. I need to get a paint. Whole truck ain't really bad for a paint job, but when you get to the roof, I'm gonna put the camera up there. You can see where it needs to get work done. Over there, up on top of the cab. I actually sanded it down and put a primer on it, an etching primer, but that's been probably 3 or 4 years ago, and I never bothered painting it. I never got around to it. And it started doing the same thing it was doing before. I don't understand why. But I do have a dog box in there because we recently just took the dogs to go get their heartworm test done, and heartworm pills and rabies shots for the year. But yeah, I'm gonna go into this. I'm gonna go in the truck now. I do have a little bit of aftermarket radio in it. There ain't no really high-end speakers, stock speakers with a different head unit. But other than that, I'm gonna pop the hood for you. Let me show you the motor. See there, I'll show you everything. And that's the new brake lines I've installed on the truck, throughout the whole truck, and brake master cylinder and stuff. And if anybody's looking for good batteries to get, I'm not getting sponsored or anything from this video, but I really like the Bully Dog batteries. Them things never let me down. They have good cold cranking amps, way more than a normal battery that would fit for your vehicle. But yeah, this is the original motor in this truck. It has almost 700,000 miles on it, and it still runs like a champ. But other than that, that's pretty much everything about the truck. I do have a car hauler trailer. When I had to take this truck to get a transmission, I actually drove it to Florida I hauled this truck to Florida to get the transmission done from Monster Transmissions out of Brooksville, Florida. They have top of the line transmissions. That's the reason why I went there. And also the prices for what you get in the transmission compared to what you get in our general vicinity. All you do is get a stock Jasper replacement. And I got this thing built to the gills for horsepower and torque. And it's able to withstand quadruple amount compared to a stock one, and the price was cheaper, and it was more worth it for me to drive to Florida and haul this thing to Florida than it was for me to get it done locally. So that's the reason why I did that. And for the overcome of, this is probably the only truck, you know, I ain't wanting to go out and buy something else because the price of vehicles nowadays are too ridiculous. But other than that, I think we're pretty set.
How old is she, baby?
It's a 94 when they made good ones. 94 Chevrolet.
So that's 26 years?
K3500.
Yeah, that's 26 years, babe.
27, I think. That's 27, I think. Isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's 26. 94. 2004, 14. Yeah, 97. Sorry.
97?
Or
Where you
27. My math is bad.
Yeah, but I work doing math all day long at work, so I'm good at math.
Alright, we're going to ride down the road and we're going to interview Steven about his truck. Alright, so, it's a 94 Chevy K2500.
30, well, it's 35.
Alright, it has, let's see how much I know first. It has it's not a 5.7.
Yeah, it's 5.7.
God almighty, I'm good. The motor has over 700 miles, 600,000 miles.
670,000, 665,000. 670,000, 665
miles
and 9 tenths now. And it has that's the original motor.
Yep, original motor. See, 2 years ago, it's been 2 years? 2 years ago, we replaced the transmission.
And matter of fact, the transmission, the brand new one, when the truck was new, it lasted to about 100,000 miles. And then we put a Jasper transmission in it. And that lasted until 2 years ago, and now I got a Monster transmission, and I got that sucker built to the ball. And the transmission is able to withstand like 1,600 horsepower and 2,200 foot-pounds of torque. And this truck does not put nowhere near that out. So I should be guaranteed for that transmission to last my entire lifetime.
And then you got, it's not the same rear end, you got a different rear end.
Yeah, I got the 14 bolt full float rear end, where you can pull the axles out the side rather than taking the differential cover off.
On our first trip anywhere, and it was like the third or fourth big date, we went up to Boone, North Carolina, and snowboarding. And we're not gonna go into that situation, okay? On my end. But we were on the way back, and
Alternator. It was the alternator.
the alternator blew up in the front. That was while we were on the way back, and then when we got further down the daggum interstate, the
alternator blew up, which broke the belt and then broke some vacuum lines, and then threw shrapnel through the radiator, which made antifreeze blow all over the place. And that was in Hickory, North Carolina.
Yep. Hey,
I stopped at O'Reilly's because luckily there was one down the hill, so I was able to coast the whole way. And then we were doing a radiator replacement in the parking lot with vacuum lines and new alternator, everything we did in the parking lot while it was snowing out.
And that's why he decided to keep me. I was a keeper. Because I got out.
Grabbed the tool bag, because every time I travel somewhere, we bring tools with us.
Hang on a second, Courtney. So, I got out and helped him. And the look on his face whenever I got out and started helping him take the radiator down and everything, it was priceless. Like, I didn't even know she could do that.
Yeah, it was like third or fourth date. Really, this is this has been.
Yeah, that's what I said. Our third or fourth major date. No, it was our major dates. Like
10 years ago. That was 10 years ago.
Yeah. And then on the way down, further down the daggum interstate, the daggum drive shaft.
No, it was the rear end.
Yeah, the rear
end. We were going down the interstate at about 75 miles an hour, and I had people flashing their lights out at me. I was like, what the heck are they flashing the lights at? So I slew up. I thought there was a police on the side of the road or something. And so I had to get gas, so I stopped off the gas, and somebody in the parking lot said, your rear end of your truck is glowing red. It's glowing red. I looked up under there, that thing was red as a tomato. The bearings went out in the rear end, and luckily we had about 180 miles left to go.
In the last 60 miles, the daggum drive shaft decided to fall out.
And we made it home. I mean, the truck has four-wheel drive, so we took the drive shaft and got it the rest of the way out. And luckily, the drive shaft broke off when we were only going about 20 miles an hour, because if we going fast down the highway, that thing's gonna whip around like a damn snake, you know, and ruin the hole up underneath of your truck. But I took the drive shaft out, I put it in four-wheel drive, and I rode front-wheel drive on the way home and drugged the back wheels.
That was a very adventurous first vacation we have ever had.
And then I had to, I was on and the rear end was glowing so red, I mean, there wasn't no way you could replace or rebuild it. If, you know, the heat of that ain't good to rebuild something after you heat something up like that, especially with stuff moving parts in it. So I went out to the junkyard, and when we got to the house, and I found a rear end of a 2003 Chevy 1-ton. 2003 Chevy 1-ton, 14 bolt rear end I got in there now. I had to do a little modifications to it. I had to cut the spring purges off on the axle and re-weld them back on in the right location, because the leaf springs on a 2003 to a 94, which I have, they're in a different center. They have a different center on them. The springs have a different width from the left side, the driver's side, to the passenger side. So I had to cut the spring purchase off with a torch and re-weld them back on there. And I got the rear end in, got new drive shaft made, and it's been running ever since. That's been.
But yeah, this truck has had a hard beginning in its life. Like, this truck was a work truck for how many years? From 94 to 2000?
94 to 98.
Yeah.
Probably 4 or 5 years.
It plowed snow, it ran salt out the back of it. I mean, this truck had a hard life in the beginning. And honestly, I don't think this truck minds sitting and only being a drive to and from work truck. Because
and it get good gas. It gets awesome gas mileage on the interstate.
It does get good gas
I mean,
mileage.
for being an older vehicle and a truck that weighs 6,000 pounds, the truck weighs 6,000 pounds.
Well, can we take this truck to?
I mean, I get about 24 to 25 miles a gallon on the interstate. Now, granted, it has like a 40-gallon gas tank, but it gets awesome gas mileage for being a motor that has damn near 700,000 miles on it, and it runs like it's brand new.
This truck, he's very picky about this truck. I am. First, one time that I drove it, that we were pulling a power pole up out the ground. We were pulling the power pole out the ground, and I was driving, and it wasn't me, it was the truck. The truck broke the power pole.
It pulled it's a telephone pole. It broke it in half.
Yeah, but it wasn't me. I didn't do that. I just eased on the gas like you told me to. I was doing what you told me to. But no, this truck, I don't ever drive this truck unless I'm moving it a couple feet or something like that on level ground and there's no other vehicles around in the middle of a field or something. No one drives this truck besides Steven.
That's a nice truck. It's a full-size pickup. Extended cab with an 8-foot bed on it.
It is. It is a nice truck.
The truck's 20 and a half feet long. 20 foot 6 inches.
We had to get new seats. It's got brand new seats in the front.
They used to have a 60-40 bench seat. The 40 was on the driver's side. The 60 was on the passenger side. And I got these seats.
That was uncomfortable.
I can't even remember where I got these seats. It's been probably 5-6 years ago. But now I got 2 bucket seats with an armrest in the center that the armrest will flip up and make a 3rd seat. So I'm still able to hold 6 people in there.
Yeah, and it's good. It's a good truck.
It's got the 4L80 E transmission in it. You know, the corporate 14 bolt in the rear, full floater, 410 gear ratio for hauling and towing. 4-wheel drive works. Awesome. actually just put new brake lines on it.
Oh yeah,
and
we
a
put
master
brake
cylinder.
lines. That was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, the brake. I can't remember what was going on with that. Make me do that. There was a hole in the brake line.
There was a clog. Yeah, there was a hole and
No, there was a clog.
There was a clog in one of the brake lines.
It was making my It was making my caliper stick. It was locked shut, and it was a clog in the brake line. I thought I was going to flush it out, and it didn't happen. I couldn't get the flush to go through to make the clog move. So I wiggled the line a little bit, and the line cracked. And granted, the truck's so old. I mean, the lines had rust on it. So I went out and bought stainless steel brake lines, and that was like $400 for brake lines. And then I had to buy a new master cylinder, so I redid everything, all the brake components, all the brake lines, the master cylinder, bled all the lines, and the sucker did the damn thing, and put new brake pads on it, like, you know, the best brake pads you can buy. And I can stop on a dime with this thing. But now, how long ago was that? That was probably about 18 months ago.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Maybe a little less. Maybe less than maybe a year and a half.
Nah,
maybe a
Lino
year.
wasn't born yet.
Yeah, he was.
Well, he was just born.
It was it was through that beginning of the pandemic thing. Because remember, it took forever. I couldn't get a hold of the company because they were all working from home.
Yeah.
And they sent me one of the brake lines that were in the box set. They sent me. It was the wrong fitting size, and it was accidentally put in there rather than the right one that needed to be in there. And they had to send me out a different one to match up what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that company was out of Michigan.
I remember when you couldn't figure out how to work the daggone brake bleed kit.
Yeah, I couldn't get that thing to work. Shannon had to use her tiny fingers to get that thing to work. That brake bleeding kit, that's another thing. That's more than a one-person job. Especially it's a good brake bleeder system thing I bought.
He always needs my help. He loves my help.
And I couldn't have done it without her, honestly, because you need somebody to hold the vacuum suction hose to the top of the bleeder.
While you pump.
Why I pump, because if you pump, you can't. The object I was finding out, you couldn't have the line twist, move, even a centimeter. You couldn't even a little teeny, little bit. It would make it leak, and you could never tell if you got all the air out of the lines or not. And I had her help me, and we put some grease around the system, around the fitting area, to keep the air pocket from, happening. And then we were able to get something done. And when we released the pressure from the suction, then it just came out solid brake fluid.
We worked together.
And we didn't videotape that. We should have done that.
We worked together, don't we?
Yeah.
We're good. We're good together.
Good team. We're a good team.
I've done learned what he wants to do next. He don't like working with really nobody else because I can already be one step ahead of him on what he's gonna do. We know each other pretty darn well. Alright, well, we're back at the house. We're gonna take y'all for a walk around this beautiful 94 Chevy truck.
After we get the dogs and stuff out.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Oh, I know that. We gotta unload the dogs.
Unload the dogs, put them back, and
you just need to take this dog box and just stand it up on the metal. I wouldn't even put it down.
The reason why I didn't do that is I didn't want it to flip over and a kid be next to him. dang freaking smush them. Yeah, I mean, it ain't heavy enough to smush somebody, but it's heavy enough to hurt somebody real bad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I didn't do it. And also, I didn't do it because Lee was parking there.
Yep.
If y'all have any questions, about it, or anything, questions about transmission, questions about, you know, what I done to it other than what I said. I mean, that's pretty much all I done to it. But oh, matter of fact, I did put a set of headers on it because the manifolds broke, and a set of headers was cheaper than the manifolds, so I decided to go with headers. That's the only other thing I didn't mention. But other than that, I think I hit all the details on it. But if you have any questions or ask questions about it, or just put a little notion in the comment box, and we'll answer your comments down there on this side or down on that side. And I would like to also ask you, if you like our videos, Merzinski Family Homestead, I'd appreciate it if you if you like them, hit your thumbs up, and that'll help, you know, spread the videos and to keep you updated on our family homestead adventures and stuff. Hit the subscribe button, and all that does is when we release a new video, you'll get an alert through your telephone or through your computer to let you know we posted a new video so you can watch it. So until next time, or most likely tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.